Now, when we have our new block theme, where do we start to edit it? Well, we go into the site editor, and you can go there by clicking the customize button on the theme. There are multiple ways to get here. But before we even start, we need to get a grasp on some of the concepts that WordPress are using. And we see them here. There are patterns, templates, pages, styles, and navigation. And what are those? I will go through this quickly in this video, and then I will come back to them. So, first of all, before even starting with patterns, we know that in WordPress we use blocks. So blocks are kind of the atomic part in WordPress. When you have multiple blocks that you would like maybe to reuse on multiple pages, then you can create what's called a pattern. So pattern is something, a part of the page that you would like to reuse over and over again. And there are already two typical patterns that are almost there on every site, and that is the header of the site and it is the footer of the site, because usually the footer looks the same throughout all the pages. And in a vanilla block theme from the create block theme, you see that you have a very, very simple footer, just proudly powered by WordPress. And of course you can go in here and edit this one. And when you edit this one, well, then you will change the footer on all pages that uses this footer. And by default, that's every page and every post and everything in WordPress. So patterns are reusable building blocks that are a little bit bigger than the atomic blocks that we have as the smallest part. Templates then. Well, templates controls the look of a full page. So in templates, well, we only have one template, and that is index in this theme. And to understand how templates works, we need to understand the template hierarchy that has been in WordPress since a long time ago. But nowadays we have simplified this because now we have HTML templates. Prior to that were PHP. But this is the hierarchy that WordPress uses. It looks super complicated, but the idea is that you start from the left and then you move on to the right. And if you are supposed to, or when WordPress are supposed to show a page, well, then it will look at this one. Is it a singular page? Yes, it is. Then it will look, is it a static page that is page, or is it a post? Well, let's say that we have a page, then it will continue to work in, do we have a specific page template that we have? Because when creating a page, you can select this page uses this template. If you have created a specific template, you can manually say that it should use this one. Well, then it will use that one. Otherwise, it will move on to the default template and see, do we have something that is called page dash and then the slug for the template? And that is, if you have a page that is called about space us, the slug will be about dash us, all in lowercase. So that means that if you have a template that is called page dash about dash us, then it will use that one. Now, everything that is with PHP in this picture, well, the PHP is removed because nowadays we have HTML templates. And the good idea is that now you don't need to write any HTML, you don't need to write any PHP. You can do everything within WordPress that we will see later on. Well, if we don't have that one, and that is fairly common that we don't have a specific page template for each page, then it will look, do we have a page dash, then the ID? We probably don't have that either. Then we'll see, do we have a page template? Well, then that page template will be used for every page. And this is fairly common because you want all pages to have the same look. So the page template controls how all pages will look then. Then if we don't have that either, then you can have one that is called singular, and then that will be used for when you look at singular posts and singular pages. And if you don't have anything, it will always fall back on index.php. So when you have created your new site, you already have an index.php, and as that is the default fallback for WordPress, well, then it might be a good idea to don't touch that, at least not the first thing you do. So I'll leave it as it is. So templates controls the look for a full page, a full post, or whatever. We will come back to that later. And pages, well, pages are what you have as content on your site, and pages are usually what's a little bit more static things, like the About Us page, the front page. You have maybe a products page or whatever. So, but they are a little bit more static in its content. It doesn't mean that the front page, for example, might have news that show up all the time, but they usually show up by using other methods than changing the front page. So pages is the content, and they are connected to the templates, because the templates controls how the page will look. Where should the title show up? Where should the featured image and so on and so forth show up? But the content comes from the page. Then we have styles, and styles controls the look of the different blocks in WordPress. And there are also some global styles, and I will come back to that in the next video. So this controls the look and feel of your site, the visual representation, so to speak, of the site. And then finally we have the navigation, and the navigation is the main menu. You can create more menus if you want to. Maybe you would like to have a footer menu. Well, then you can create a new navigation. By default, this is a page listing. That means that if you add new pages, they will automatically show up in your menus. You don't need to do anything about that. So these are the things that you can see in the design part when you are in the full site editor.